Oh my God.
Right.
Just as a reference, if you actually needed a reference, there you go. That's not good. Turn this thing over once I get it off, so I'm not hanging around with a cylinder head in my hand.
Nowhere to put it.
Somewhere to put it, ready to go. Right, so that's all. What I had in mind, trust individual. You remember this?
Oh yeah, that's my Roby.
Add that to you.
I'll take that back.
Take that back.
I'll exchange it for some tools I've got of yours at my place.
Have you still got all those Renault bits in the
Yeah, I got there's a clutch upstairs. That's how you know. That's how you know you're winning at life, when you open your linen cupboard and there's Mustang parts and Renault parts in your linen cupboard.
Okay. So extractors.
Factory extractors.
Factory extractors. So wiggle.
No rubber mallet required, just manhandle this thing off.
That's it. Like that.
Bingo bango.
Look at the mess go. Yeah, and a bit of oil. Oh, they never do that. Bring it in here.
One Renault Clio 172 head.
Cylinder head. And let's have a look at the valve debacle. Oh yeah. No, nothing is salvageable in those valves.
No. Oh, look at the state of these guys.
I don't even want to look.
Mate, that is FUBAR.
Let's have a look at the head. Let's have a
Look at the bend on those.
I know, but let's have a look at the piston. Work out the extent of the wheel mess. So we've got.
Where's your magnet? Pull all the swarf out.
Right, it's got to be made of metal.
Yeah.
Right. No metal or alloy. Here, alloy.
Yeah. She's had a few kisses, hasn't she?
Yeah. This the kiss of life.
A few high fives. Yeah, mate. You reckon those pistons are going to be okay?
They've got to be okay. That's all we got.
Yep.
That's what we got to work with.
Shit.
Oh, you won't know till you get it out. Like it depends. See that if that's gone down and crushed the ringland, that's when your lights out.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you get your rings and they won't float around in it, yeah, it's lights out. Big time.
What about this?
What about scoring on the balls? Let's look for scoring on the balls. That's the cylinder head gasket. Let's get rid of that. Okay, cylinder head gasket's eliminated. Just hang on to that. So yeah, so there you would argue that you see that.
Yeah.
That's an indentation.
Bit of damage.
Yeah. So the purists are going to say that engine's wrecked because that'll potentially create a hot spot. Blah blah blah. Okay, not going to argue with you. I'm just going to say it's not getting fixed.
Watch me.
So what I'll do is once the pistons are out, I'll be able to give this a hone.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll hone that out. Look at that. That's more of what caused the problem. That strip of stuff.
So talk us through again. It wasn't a snap belt.
It wasn't a snap belt. It was the edge of the belt that decided to come off for some reason, somehow. What caused it, I'm still going to investigate.
Right. Because it's not a spun bolt as you thought it might be.
No, it's not a spun pulley. It might have been a case that one of these plastic pulleys down here let go, got too much tension on it, got a bend in it, the bearing started to fail. Like there's that one there. And then you've got a water pump somewhere down there a bit lower. There's a tensioner that could have failed.
That one's probably the best of the lot.
Oh, thanks, mate. Well,
1 out of 3, 1 out of 4.
Anyway, there's options. There's options. Maybe we just pull the pistons out, take them around to Cambos and get him to take a fly shit off the top of them. That'll clean them up. Decompress it.
So you put the new head on, you button it up and you check the compression, and that's when you know if you've got a problem with your pistons.
Not really. I'll take the pistons out. If all the ring lands fine, then I'll know that pretty much the compression's going to be okay.
Yeah, because you're going to do the rod bolts, aren't you?
I'm going to do the rod bolts. It's easy enough. I can take the pistons out here. With the thing out, I'll probably even take the bloomin' take out my the oil squirters from underneath. So then I've got free rein to plunge each of these with the honing tool.
Yep.
And that'll clean up any little burrs on the inner edges.
Yep.
Any of this carbon. It'll just give it a clean up.
Same rings?
No, we'll buy new rings.
Yep.
And, you know, we've got, so if you see there, ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so feeling something there?
Yeah, there's a very distinct mark just there. Feel that?
Yeah, I can feel that.
Okay, so if we go to this one,
it's right around. It's 3/4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I don't think that happened in the incident.
No.
But it's something that's been in there for a while, so.
What would cause that? Rod bolt stretch.
No, I don't know. I'm not an engine specialist, but I think when you ask the forum, why do I have this? And it might be something like.
So you got a ridge. That's you can definitely feel it.
Yeah.
And it's sort of
just on that side.
Third of the way down the bore, but it's not 360. It's more like 180.
Yeah. Whether it's some sort of a vibration in the motor that creates it, maybe it was parked up for a while.
Oh yeah.
You don't know. Right. Maybe some water got into it when it was parked up. Left sitting, and it's corrosion.
Yep.
Either way, we'll check obviously the conrod bolts. Maybe it's someone will come in and say, well, it's your eye bearing on or your gudgeon pin bearing.
Yep.
Well, those pistons, they're pretty tight.
Yeah.
There's not much rock in them, so
a few dings on top.
There is that same thing just on this side, but it's just not as pronounced. Not that lip. You have a feel of it, and then I'll grab my thing and watch all that shit. Hang on, mate. Light that up. Just a bit of rusty oil, rusty water and oil. Alright, go and grab just bugger it, I've got this here, just turn it, so I'll turn the motor.
Yep. So you got 2 up in the middle and then outside 2 down. So we're just going to get a look at the 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Yep. Is it moving?
No.
Okay. It will in a second. That move?
No.
Okay. I haven't got the rest of the bolt on, so it's just.
Took up the battery, mate.
Woody salvage that. Is that moving?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, those pistons definitely have some battle scars. Yep.
Say when.
Bit more. Bit more. Yep. Perfect. Oh yeah, look at the top of this guy.
Yeah. It's
nothing.
It's nothing. It's just a flesh wound.
Walk it off.
Mere flesh wound. Walk it off. Yeah. Yeah, that's got that as well.
Okay.
So they've all got them, whatever it is, and whatever it's caused by. It just could be just the natural uniqueness of this motor, you know.
Too much speed, mate. Too many revs.
Too many revs. That's why you have a rev limiter set at 7,000. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, they feel good turning over?
Well, you know, turn.
Yep.
You know, where we could really get critical is I'd put the dial indicator on.
Yep.
Measure the difference between your deck height and your and your piston.
Yeah.
So, but the plan is to shave a bit off the head, whichever head I end up using.
Yeah.
So realistically, the option to, you know, just take the edge, because realistically, okay, if you look at this, you take the edge off, the edge of this piston. Now someone will say, oh, you can't do that, can't do that. But yeah, that one's copped a, they're all that, oh no.
That guy's the worst.
Yeah, look, it's got a, no, they've all got that rebate in the corner there.
Yeah, that's factory, is it?
Yeah, right to the edge, see?
Yeah.
Where you need to look is, see that high spot? You can feel that high spot there.
Yeah, yeah.
So that I have to take off. I have to take that high spot,
Yep.
off the top of this, but I'll use my trusty stone for that and a bit of float glass. I'll work it down till she's mint. Problem is that, and then I'm going to have, like, oil pressure goes through the motor up to the cylinder head, so I'm going to have to watch that bastard. Should be one of these. Whichever one it is, the oil's coming up through. There, that's it. So that's your oil supply there.
Right.
Okay, so the oil pressure comes through the block up there to feed the top of your cylinder head. So that's the one that I've got to make sure I don't end up with bucket loads of filthy, dirty, gritty muck down that. Everything else is fine.
Yeah, right.
That
So
just drains into the sump.
So you plug that up pretty much.
Pretty
straight
much
away.
plug that up. Plug that up, and then, you know, that, because that gallery goes directly back down into your oil pump.
Yeah.
So that's the one I definitely don't want to get any shit
Any
down.
stuff in. Yeah.
You know, purists would say, no, we need to pull this block out, we need to tone it away, it needs to be decked, it needs to be washed, it needs to be bored, honed, trued, oversized pistons, oversized rings, well, obviously oversized pistons, but that'll come with the new rings. You know, then you look at the crank, you know, fair call. Like, but if you're going for 200, that's if you're building for 240 horses.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not about to start a 240 horsepower build on this motor because of this debacle. I'll build it and I'll, yeah, if I mount these up in a lathe and machine the smallest amount of them, all the better. All the better. Flat top them slightly or decompress it, which would decompress it ever so slightly. But
So
you
leaving it alone is not an option, is that what you're saying?
yeah, I can't just do nothing.
Yeah.
I've got to address the issue somehow. It's funny that, you know, that is the same on all those, isn't it? That mark on
Must
that
have,
side.
yeah, as you said,
It's clearly
characteristic
it's
of the
clearly
motor.
a time compression type of issue, whether it's the bottom of the skirt on the piston slapping under detonation.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It can be all those sorts of weird and wonderful issues that are combined. It's the compression and detonation and compression and the shock forces going through the pistons and everything that's causing this particular mark. But that mark didn't happen on the weekend. That mark happened over the 200 odd thousand that's been driving around. So
It's a great view of those factory extractors. They are a nice bit of kit, aren't they?
yeah, I've got a set in the rear if you want to look at them. Shit on it. Are there people? See that? See that?
Yep.
Important. Very important, that heat shielding. Don't remove it. Especially the one down there, because it protects your power steering from all the heat going out of this exhaust. So,
Well, mate, that's a result. Heads off.
heads off.
Pretty
Next
much what you
stage.
expected. Yeah. What next?
Well, let's do one. Let's do one. Pick a valve, any valve.
Let's go for
Pick me a
what's
valve.
behind this guy here.
That guy there. Right.
He looks at a funny angle. I reckon he'll be.
Which one did you say? That one.
Yep.
Yeah, shit's real funny here, mate. That's not even square. close. I might need to just, yeah, it's not quite yet. So just to bring us back, bring you all up to speed, these valves are so badly gone that I've actually have to push it straight down on the bench, holding it underneath. Normally what you'd do is you'd have this tool I'm using would sit on the back of the valve, but the back of the valve isn't parallel to the front of the valve anymore. Okay, this should be it. Alright, let's see if I can get that puppy out now. There's a compass come out. I don't know where it went though. Did you see it fly anyway?
No, it's still in there.
No, there's one there. A torch. They both came out, but there it is. Drop down. This is the fun game we play. Okay, so they're the two bits you definitely don't want to lose. Hold that again for me while the rest flies out. Alright, Mark selected the valve. I've now extracted the collet and the spring.
Any story to tell there?
No, it looks situation fairly normal. There you go, it came apart. They're springs, nice and tense. Alright. Now I need brass drift, I think. Try and tap it out, which is one of the... There we go, topped.
Hey!
Oh my god.
Right.
Just as a reference, if you actually needed a reference, there you go.
Yep.
Yep. So we've got 16 of those, but that's really to be expected.
Yeah.
You know, given the lift that these cams produce, etc., etc., etc.
Something goes wrong.
That's what you get.
It's not going to be good.
There's our rocket. That's our. I've got to get pliers for that. But basically, that's our valve stem seal. The real critical thing that this is what would determine whether this head is any good. So we've got a little bit of a pickup there. I can live with that because it's only one tiny little camshaft journal. We've had one hydraulic lash adjuster pop out somewhere on the exhaust side. I think it was this one. It might have been that one. Somewhere in there. But I don't think it damaged the core. It just flew out, damaged the component, which I was going to replace anyway. What we need to know, what determines the most expensive bit, and there's a lot of expensive bits on this head. You live there. Okay, so what I was trying to say, if you come around here, is down in there, I'll hold the torch, you can see the valve guide.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether those valve guides, one way to tell is just to take your valve where it's relatively okay, slide it in, just the first bit.
Yeah, it's got some play.
See how much play it's got. And whether it's got more left to right than up and down where it took the big hit. So, look, I'd say there's probably it's not a precise method. But I'd say there's no more or less play either way.
Yep.
Roughly speaking, I'll do all those tests. But what can happen is they can dislodge, start to push themselves out, and that means you've got to put new guides in. So
And that's the point of no return.
well, that's the point of an expensive exercise.
Yeah.
So that's where going for, like you can see on there, so that damage is basically where the guide has said, well, you know what, it can't go any further. So the piston stopped, the guide's hit there, and it's all ballooned up. So theoretically, I'd say most purists would say, yeah, we'll check the head's good, replace all your guides, replace all your valves, recut your valve seats, and away you go. And that's what you would pay your £4,000 or thereabouts for. This is why these cars go to the wreck. Like, you know, I've never seen a valve like that come out of a motor that's clipped to valves. Not on diesels, not on petrols. That is next level stuff. I knew they'd be bad, but that I was not expecting that.
Yep.
And I've only got 16 more to go. It almost looks like a diesel. Now these are all meant to be at an angle. They're all like that.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
So they're obviously, yep, meant to vagary,
Yeah.
just like this.
Just like that. I-16. And there's my guides. That's the tensioner. Obviously it deployed itself, but did it look like it's failed? Probably not. There's the guide. I've replaced these. These aren't that old.
Yeah, right, okay.
So it's not like it's an old tension. Same with the water pump. Water pump's not that old either. So I don't know. I think it might just be old age on the belt. It may have been the result of my catastrophic failure. May have been an external force pushing on the cover. I don't know. If anyone does, be my guest. Tell me what it was.